as Brother Vern. How are you doing, young man?
Good. How you doing?
It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. Yes.
Rough road?
Man, it's not rough, but it can be a little struggle, especially during the seasons, the off season. You know what I mean?
Myself.
Absolutely, man. By myself, man. Yes. It can be exhausting anyway.
I don't want to jump any order. I want to get right into it, but there's so much I got to ask you.
Okay.
Before I get to asking you any questions.
What does a barber mean to the community?
Barber means a lot. We can talk about therapists, psychologists, counselor, mentor, inspiration, friend, confidant, and the list goes on. So not just a person that just cuts your hair, and gets you in and out just for $1.
Like
you know what I'm saying?
Like a priest.
Right, a preacher, a minister, a brother, a father, someone that you share emotions with, you share your life with, someone you bond with, and you can, when you go talk to this person or these people, that's behind the chair, that your information is not going to go further than where that chair is at, and that's pretty much it, man. So barber's a lot. Barber's definitely a lot.
Plus, if someone has to, if someone has a life-changing event personally, they always go see the barber.
Always go see the barber, man.
Gotta see the barber before this day, that day.
Absolutely.
Birthdays, Christmas, holidays.
Everything.
You hear, they always come to church twice a year. That means they got to see the barber first. I got you. So when did you begin cutting hair?
13 years old, man.
Really?
13 years old. That would be 34 years. 34 years.
Did you see someone cutting hair and thought, wow,
no,
when I get older?
Actually, I like the way Michael Jackson had his hair in Thriller.
Okay.
He had the sides was like close to, the hair was close to the side. He had the curl, he had the shag in the back.
Right.
Because I used to do the Michael Jackson, of course.
Right.
My
Which
godmother.
part? The leg? Or?
Oh, the whole thing. My godmother used to take
me. You had the curls.
Oh man, I had the high curls, man. I had the deep curls.
Yeah.
So I really was fascinated with that style, and my hair was like real Afro-ish,
Yeah.
So it was curly though. So I actually cut it down on the sides using my mother's big razor.
You gotta be kidding.
No kidding. And I actually shaved it bald.
With a big razor.
With the big razor from here to here to shave the bald. And she would come in the bathroom and look at me and shake her head and walk away. And just walk away. I just look at her and I just keep on about my business.
You was into it.
Yeah, I was into it, man. So yes, that's when I began cutting hair, man.
So did you run in and start cutting everybody's hair?
No, it didn't happen like that. One day she actually surprised me with a pair of wall clippers.
Wow.
She came in and she gave it to me.
So you stopped using her big shave?
I stopped.
Cutting up her legs.
She told that was enough. That was self-explanatory, right? No, but I had a friend that I used to hang out with all the time. Or at that time, I considered as a best friend. And his brother, not knowing that he was my father's brother's son.
Really?
So he was my cousin. His brother was my cousin, and they didn't know I knew how to cut for a while. I actually started really cutting my own hair.
Kept it hidden in the...
It wasn't like an intentional thing. I just don't reveal a lot of things that I do. I just do it. You know what I mean? So, but once I got out in the streets, and I was 14, I started hanging at the recreational center more. My mother was loud. I always had to drag my little two brothers with me all the time. You know what I mean? you know.
But you guys always had the flyest cuts.
But we always had the nicest cuts. And my cousin, you know, he found out I knew how to cut hair. And once he found out I knew how to cut hair, he was like Ezel on Friday.
Fridays.
Yo, my cousin Vern know how to cut hair. And like everybody was like, what? You know. And I just started cutting their hair after that, man. And then it was just like, okay. You know, so yeah.
So why didn't you go right into it then? Or you just you didn't think of a business or anything like that? It was just something you liked.
It was just something that I knew how to do.
Okay.
You know,
just in you.
it was just in me. It was something I knew how to do. Something that I just, it was just in me.
Did you have any other relatives that were barbers or?
My grandfather, I found out later on. Later on. My mother told me that my grandfather used to cut hair on her
genes,
side.
in the
Yeah,
genes.
yeah. And I was like, wow.
So did anyone like encourage you other than your mom? Did anyone else, was there anyone else there that said, you know, Vern, you got a knack at this?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Your mom
But my
was-
cousin, again, you know, God bless him, wherever he is, you know, he went missing at the age of 18. I was 16 going on 17. But he was the only one I used to cut all the time. Like every week, this guy would get a haircut. He was one of them pretty boy kids, light skinned, you know, cut up, you know, very athletic, you know, crazy as hell. You know, some people called him trouble, and some people loved him. You know what I mean? I loved him. I knew he was trouble. I loved him. I hate him at the same time because he just called me names. You know what I mean?
But he would come to you for
But
a
he would
cut.
come to me for a cut. You know, I would always go over his grandmother's house because that's who we lived with at the time. They had his little room, a neat freak, and I would cut his hair, man. And before we knew what designs were, I used to do them in his head.
He would ask you to put the...
Yep, he would have it all drawn out on a piece of paper of what he wanted me to do.
And you were doing that
And
with
I
a
would do
wall
it.
cutter.
I would do it. No problem. He would go outside every day and people would ask him, who the hell cut your hair?
So how old were you about
I was 14 going on 15.
Wow.
Going on 15 years old, man. That's when I really started, around that time, that's when I really started beating the streets, 15 years old. You know? Yep. It was amazing, man.
That's all. You've been doing this a while then.
Quite a while. Quite a while.
Wow.
You know?
So what type of haircuts did you start doing?
His haircut, specifically his haircut was a low cut,
which was
Caesar.
easy.
Dark Caesar. Nah, it was pretty simple to me. You know what? I never even had. Yes, I did. His brother's hair, who was my friend at the time, he had the real coarse hair, which we call nappy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I would be like, man, cutting this. He would never really get a haircut. He would like to wear a hat. You know what I mean? But when I cut his hair, it was just like, wow, what I'm going to do with this? You know what I mean?
Like it was a challenge.
Yes, it was. But at the end result, he would love it, man. He would love it, and it made me feel good, you know, that he loved his haircut.
So you feel good when you do things like that, and other people feel some positive.
Absolutely.
That gives you
reassurance.
So
yes, yes.
So it's
And I
more
did a
than
good
just
job.
cutting hair for you. Then.
Yes, yes, yes. Because I work as if I'm working on myself.
Okay.
You know.
Attention to detail.
Yes, I'm very particular about certain things. You know, and detail is a must. You know what I mean? Because that's what actually stands out, and that's what anything we do. You know what I mean? The detail.
So you can tell when someone's in it just for the money.
Absolutely, absolutely. They don't take their time. It's
Rush through.
get you out of here.
Yeah.
You know. Get
And
you
I've seen you have lines upon lines, and those are just the ones who decided to stay. So there's no rushing for you, because you know you got 1 or 2 or 7 more behind.
Treat everybody the same.
I don't know how you can do it by yourself. Day in, day out, year in, year out, month in, month out. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand
The passion.
and maintaining a certain level. See, that's, it's one thing to have a good barber, but it's another, after a period of time, they kind of wane off and, they're just like everyone else. I've never seen that in your jobs. Never.
Well, I work hard to not actually get to that point. And
You enjoy it. You can
absolutely,
tell. Yeah.
absolutely.
You can tell.
Absolutely.
You really can tell. So was it a struggle to learn how to do this?
No.
Or
Not at all.
once you picked it up, I know you said
It
you
was
did
just
at an early age.
Go.
So you just progressed and got better
That's
and
it.
better after that.
That's it. One of my buddies, who's my buddy now, my boy now, his haircut was my first haircut. One of my first haircuts back then. We used to all hang together. He was like the little rascals in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? He got the box haircut.
Okay.
Back then,
I like
we call it the Don King for him. He got he had the fade. I gave him the high top fade, and I blew dry his hair. I wash it and blew dry it, straighten it out, and I will cut it in a box. Man, you talk about high, it was high.
So you were doing blowouts way back.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. He would walk around. Of course, we was in the streets. We had that little money. And he would purchase he would get the gazelles, the leather coat, you know what I mean, the travel fox shoes, Oh man, it was
back
wild.
in the Run
Back
DMC
in, yeah,
days.
man, yeah.
Fast
Yeah.
5 Freddy.
Yeah. Oh, he was, and like I said, these guys in my neighborhood never had to go to a actual barber shop.
Were there barbershops in there?
Yes, absolutely. Woody's all over. I couldn't understand how come everybody's name was Woody that cut hair. I was like, man, if I start, do I think my name be Woody if I don't live a barbershop?
Woody Vern.
Woody Vern.
Woody Vern.
Yeah.
So did you ever charge your friends or anyone when you were cutting just in the beginning?
No, absolutely not. I didn't even think about money. Not for that, because I was making money doing other things that I shouldn't have been doing.
Right.
But money wasn't even in the thought. Especially with guys who I hung out with. You know what I mean? You're my friend. We hanging, we rolling, we do this, that, we go here, we do that. Why am I gonna charge you? Friends don't do that. Family don't do that.
Be together anyway.
Exactly. Family don't do that.
What could you walk around with a barber? How could you walk around with a barber and all his friends have raggedy cuts, but the barber?
But the barber.
That's not good.
That's crazy.
At all.
That's crazy.
That's not good at all.
Charge me. I'm charging you. Oh, you owe me $10 from last week for cutting your hair.
Yeah, but we're gonna hang out
But
together.
we boys. Crazy.
So, during the journey up this here to this point, I want to really know, becoming the international master barber, okay, and I agree with that. What was it like? I mean, sum it up. Tell me. I mean, because it was a long road. You say you started early. You've been doing it. You had troubles in your life. A lot of people use different avenues to come out of trouble. This seemed to be a really perfect fit for you. How did you find that fit? To all the young people out there who have no idea where to go. How did you know that this was your fit and that this is something that, you know what, I can go into business and doing this?
It wasn't something I actually thought about doing
As a business?
As a business, it was just something that, later on was triggered. Like being on drugs. You're trying to get off drugs. You learn your triggers. Being around this person or doing that.
What they call it, people, places,
People,
and
places,
things.
and things. Well, I had the right people in my life. You know what I mean? I was doing the right thing. I have been doing the right thing. And it's been before that part. I've had these people in my life before then also, but I wasn't doing the right thing.
They believed in you, but you didn't believe in
Exactly. They didn't encourage me to do it. You know what I mean? But they just believed in me at the same time. You know what I mean? I didn't have it in my thought, like, oh, I'm gonna go, when I get older, I'm gonna open up a barbershop. Da, da, da. I thought about a barbershop, but I didn't dwell on it. I didn't focus on it. I didn't make it a priority because I didn't have an adult or an inspiration or a father figure or an uncle or anybody to say, hey man, you cutting all your friends' hair, Vern. You need to buckle down, go to school, do this, do that. You know what I mean? You have a barbershop, you can build a franchise. I never had anybody to do that for, or encourage me to do that. So reflecting on hindsight, through all the troubles that I've been through, prison, and doing drugs and selling drugs and being in the streets fighting and all of that crazy stuff, I still cut. I still was cutting here and there. My son's hair, their friends' hair, my cousin's hair, anybody who needed a haircut, I would cut. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I still didn't have that thought of barbershop, until this last time I went to prison, man, and I said, something got to change, something got to give. It got to be different for me. You know what I mean? But I still didn't think about barbershop. I didn't cut hair when I was in prison. I didn't think, no, absolutely not. I didn't think about picking up a pair of clippers. I didn't want to deal with guys like that on that level in there, for one. You know what I mean? I talked to different guys, Muslims, Christians, Jews, whatever. You know what I mean? I didn't want to really socialize with guys like that. You know what I'm saying? If we dialogue. Other than that, I'm not putting my hands on you. We're not going to go there. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that thought wasn't in me. I was more into writing because I knew how to write when I was a kid also in 3rd grade. I was into more drawing because I knew how to draw as a kid in 3rd grade. You know what I mean? So I was more into putting those skills that was in me also out there this last prison day, which was, back in late 90s and into the early 2000s. You know what I mean? I said, man, I want to be a Spike Lee, a John Singleton. You know what I mean? That's my focus. You know what I mean? So that's why I came home, and I wrote this book, wrote 2 books actually. You know what I mean? And did this short film. And I said, man, this is what I want to do. I want to go to Hollywood. I want to get this in. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way. So my wife and I, longevity relationship, off and on. Childhood sweetheart, not even just high school sweet. We got 3rd grade sweetheart, Head Start actually. We go back way back in Head Start holding hands. So, her and I, we clicked, we got back together, and we got married and stuff. She said, babe, I want a beauty supply store. And I said, beauty supply store. I said, well, I want a barbershop. Something I didn't really think about. I just said it. Why did I do that?
As a response.
You really didn't give it no deep thought, honestly.
You responded, all right.
And she said, well, there's a place over in Wildwood. We go take a look at it. Let's go over there. And when she say jump, I jump. She want to ride.
Husbands do.
She want to ride, I ride. All right, let's go. Come over here. Looked at it. I said, I don't know, man. She said, just call the guy.
Was it this shop?
This shop. I said, it's a dump. She said, just call the guy. I said, I don't know if I don't think of it. Just call the guy. I said, phew. All right. I called the guy, the landlord. Next day, he come over here and met me. Came in here, and I said, man, looked like Sandy came in here. Nothing but Sandy.
With the doors and windows open.
Wide open. So, got here, and the brain started clicking, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna put her vision and my vision and my energy to work. I'm just gut it out. That's where we started. As a construction guy does, he guts. and you start from ground up. And that's what I did. Got it by myself, everything. Started painting by myself, and I had a cousin of mine help me with the slat walls, and I went from there. And her father gave me the wood for the floor, of course, and I had a buddy when I had carpet on the floor, he laid the carpet down for me. And that was pretty much everything with my work, and I just took it from there. I didn't even want to cut. I still didn't cut.
And even at that time?
No, I didn't cut.
Well, who had you playing the cut?
I had a guy from Atlantic City come in. He had license. He had license. I didn't have a license anyway. I got him in here. He started cutting. You know, he really didn't get no business. We didn't have no business to begin. So what we started doing, I said, you know what, let's start hanging flyers up on the poles around the community, passing flyers out on the boardwalk, giving business cards out. That's what I started doing.
That's how you started to build this?
That's how I started. Yep. I didn't want to cut. I didn't want to sit back behind the counter and collect money.
Smart way to go. How's that working for you?
That didn't work out.
You know, you mentioned construction and building. You had to rebuild your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, some people talk about falling by the wayside, but coming from the wayside and coming back into reality and knowing you have a family, knowing you had trouble in the past, you're a film producer, author, filmmaker, international master barber. How did that begin? I don't mean in the beginning, I mean the educational aspect of it. You had to start somewhere in order to get the knowledge to cut properly. Because there are a lot of guys out there that are opening shops,
Yeah.
that are cutting hair, but maybe they should be in construction.
It's construction internally.
Okay, I got it.
And that's the ultimate thing.
So you have to build from
The inside to the out. You know what I mean? How do you do that? It could be complex, or it could be as easy as that. You know what I mean?
You opened the shop and didn't even want to cut hair.
No, I didn't. I didn't have no desire to anyway, you know. But I took when I actually had to get rid of the guy. You know, I had one kid come in here while the guy was here and gave me his number and said, "Yeah, I cut. I don't have a license." And I said, "Okay." I said, "All right, well, you know, I'll talk to you later." Guy, he felt a little intimidated by it, but he started falling off. You know, I said, "Look, I gave you opportunity. You didn't show up on time. Then you had alcohol in your breath when the preacher comes here with his son. You know, I have a reputation. My reputation is my life. You know what I mean? Although I'm not cutting, but this is my establishment. This is what I'm trying to build. You're ruining my reputation, so."
So it began even there, even before you started cutting.
Yes, right there. I had to let him go. I brought the other guy in. The other guy brought a whole different clientele, but he brought people.
So he had a following.
He had a following, you know, and he was fairly decent.
Okay.
And he was pretty good, you know. But then sitting back, taking observation on his style, you know, I said he could go, but he would be like a hook. He'd get hooked. He'd go so far and get hooked. You know what I mean? So I said, nah, I need somebody who's going to go further. Who's going to help take this business further. Because I started seeing, and the reason why I say that, because I started seeing him being biased towards other clients outside of his ethnicity. You know, every time a friend of his come in or someone he knew, they had an appointment. Everybody else had to sit there who wasn't a part of his ethnicity.
Would he take them first?
He would take his own ethnicity first. And I seen that. I said, nah, that's not good. I said, that's not good. So I had the 3 stations here set up. So I went home one night and I told my wife, I said, you know, I said, I'm going to cut hair. She said, what? I said, I'm going to cut hair. And I had a bag of clippers at home because I cut my son's hair and my own hair, you know, and some of their friends. I said, you know what, I'm going to start cutting. She said, okay. And I had 2 chairs. So I came here one day and I threw my clippers on the table, you know, and it's been down here ever since then, bro. Ever since then.
But it hasn't stopped for you because I've known that you continue to go back to school.
Well, my wife encouraged me to go to school that year. She said, you gotta go. I said, nah, baby, I gotta get this money. We gotta pay the bills. She said, don't worry about the bills. It's gonna be all right. Because she started working. She was working here also, you know, and for a while she was working here. And when I was cutting, and then she ended up getting another job. And I said, well, babe, we gotta pay the bills. She said, don't worry about it. Go to school. I said, all right.
Do it right.
So I went to school, you know. I started school, and it worked out. You know, I thought it was going to be a struggle going through school. It wasn't a struggle. It was pretty simple. You know, it was simple because I wanted to learn.
Is that the difference?
Wanting. That's the ultimate key, is wanting. If you want to get high, you get high.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you want to work, you're going to work.
Right.
You know, so that's the key, is what you want. You know, and I wanted it.
You wanted it bad.
I wanted it bad.
But you're still going to school.
Well, I went to, yes, because I said, you know, over the courses of the year, and I had my license for 4 years before I went back to school to be an instructor. And I said, you know, over the course of those years, I began to get better and better and better. And people coming in here telling me, hey, man, yo, you got it. But, you know, guys from out of the country come here telling me, man, I can't find a barber in my country like you. You know, out of the state, I can't find a guy like you. Out of the town, I can't find a guy like you. So I said, you know what? You know, one day I would love to go around the country and just teach. So with that thought in mind, caused me to go to school to be an instructor.
But haven't you seen many people who have gone to school to learn to cut hair and still can't cut hair?
They go to school to learn, but you don't learn what you want to learn in school. And that's the thing. When you go to school, you don't learn how to cut men's hair. You learn how to cut women's hair. And this is where the industry needs to change, especially in the state of New Jersey. Because...
So as a barber, you don't learn on a man's hair?
You don't learn on them. You have one male mannequin.
Really?
One male mannequin. And it's a Caucasian mannequin. You know?
So it's not even based on ethnicity?
No.
So how do you get the practice for cutting different heads?
Well, they have when you take your mid-test term, your mid-test, you pass it, you get your permit. Then they start allowing you to. They start having people come in the schools, and you can practice on it. But even still, you don't have an instructor. If you don't have an instructor that knows how to cut, you're still not learning.
How was your instructors at school?
My instructor was fabulous. The best.
You attribute a lot of it, your success, to your instructor?
As far as my license, obtaining my license, yes. But learning how to cut, to be an international master barber, no. That was all my work. But I give them credit for teaching me the knowledge and the information on getting the license to pursue a higher education.
So they gave you the basics, the groundwork.
Right.
You've excelled by cutting. Because I see you talk about international master barber. That's not something you just wrote on your smile.
No.
I see people here from every walk of life, every ethnicity, every gender. I mean, truly, you cut everybody's hair.
Everybody.
They don't pay you in rubles.
No, they don't pay. No. I actually take those as a token of their appreciation.
Smart.
And my appreciation, you know.
That is beautiful.
And I cherish it. And I cherish it by putting it up.
So when you go visit them, you can bring some of their money back to their country.
No.
So, you know, I just want to, I know your wife and your kids are really behind you. But what about your kids? Have any of them thought of picking up the mantle and running with it? That you've already established a beautiful, beautiful piece of work here.
No, not right off the bat. Try to encourage my youngest son, but he has a focus. This kid is focused. He's focused. Both of them, actually. You know what I mean? My daughter, she wanted to do hair at one point. You know, she's about to turn 13. You know, she's still young. Yeah. But when you possess something at a young age, I've learned from my own experience, when you possess something at a young age, you find it later on, and it just comes out and it works for you. You know what I mean?
If you don't ignore it when it comes back.
If you don't ignore it when it comes
Because
back.
there are a lot of people out here, I see a lot of young people in the community who had great skills. By you going to school to become a teacher, you're bringing that which is untouchable for many home. You're bringing a school into the community as opposed to them trying to venture out. Because a lot of people never leave the community. And by you bringing a lot of that here so that they can simply come into your shop and learn, you know, I commend you as a resident of this community. Because that in itself is doing more for the community because you're bringing something here for them.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're bringing it to them.
Right.
And you had to go through a lot to bring that to them.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't just something you signed up for.
No.
And said, let me bring a school into the community.
Right.
You actually had to go through preparation yourself.
Absolutely.
Are you at that point where you still feel that opening a school, a barber school in the community might be vengeful, might be helpful for a lot of them?
Possibly.
Do you see the kids in the community needing something else?
They do. But the most important thing they need to do is get the education first.
So education.
The school education. You know, you cannot pursue a career or anything in that matter, you know what I mean, outside of having those credentials, that high school diploma, GED. You know, if you don't possess that, then you won't possess anything else after that, other than a lame job.
So, in summing it up, Mr. International Barber, how did you get the name J&E?
J&E, throwing people off. I literally threw people off with that because I didn't want people to actually equate me and my wife with the business. You know,
Stage name?
pretty much. But it's our name though. It's the middle initial of her name and my name.
Okay.
Joy Edwards.
Oh, okay.
You know, so
That's smart.
like I said, people thought it should be C&L or L&C or V&C or C&V. You know, nah, it's just
I like
simple
J&E.
J&E.
Is good.
You know,
I like
Joy Edward. You know, and we just left it like that. You know.
So you ready for a team of barbers in here?
Yes, I am. I've been looking for guys for the last 4 or 5 years. I've been in business for 7 years now, and you know, as many as clients you know I have, it gets pretty exhausting and very, very overwhelming in the summertime. Very overwhelming. You know, I get a little aggravated with questions. Never get aggravated with different haircuts or somebody changing a haircut up in the middle of a haircut. As long as I can do it, I can make it happen. And
It's challenging.
The timing is going to be the same.
Got you.
You know, because I know how to work that magic. You know what I mean? It's no problem to me.
Well,
So it's not extra work.
personally, I thank you greatly.
I appreciate
Thank
you,
for
brother.
the interview. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
A great deal because you've opened so much. You know, you've allowed us into your world and into your life. And you're more than just a barber to many of us. You're a friend and, like I said, a confidant. And the community needs you. We really do. Because we have no one else.
I ain't going nowhere.